You realize you're a man, not because you love flannel or hate brunch, but because the act of pretending finally collapses under its own weight. One day, the performance cracks, and the truth bursts out like light through drywall. It's not revelation, it's demolition. When the dust settles, you're still there, raw, exposed, and suddenly public property. Coming out as a trans man in America isn't a glow up montage, it's a controlled explosion. You don't get applause, you get policies. You don't get confetti, you get, we just want to clarify HR's dress code. Every hello turns into a TED talk you never wanted to give. Every correction turns into a debate you never signed up for. You think you're just changing your name? Cute. Apparently, you've declared war on civilization. Overnight, everyone's a detective for your genitals. But what do you mean you're a man? I mean exactly what you mean when you say you're tired, which I am, deeply. The clarity hurts more than the confusion ever did. Because all those be yourself people, they forgot the fine print. Be yourself, as long as it doesn't scare us. Then comes testosterone, a slow motion earthquake under your skin. Your voice drops, your jaw sets, your reflection becomes a rumor you're chasing. Puberty, round 2, this time with medical bills, mood swings, and acne that thinks you're 15 again. You argue with your own mirror. You win, but only sometimes. And with every change, your body becomes a battlefield and a blueprint. There's the first time your laugh vibrates in your chest, the way strangers step aside without thinking, a safety you never knew could exist. But then the other side, nights when your skin feels foreign, when every pore buzzes with static, when the mirror says almost. Dysphoria teaches patience. Euphoria teaches grace. Both hurt in different dialects. People think transition is a makeover montage. They don't see the needles, the voice cracks, the fear that you'll never quite pass enough to be safe, or even seen. Then comes the workplace, another theater entirely. You show up early, voice lower, shirt tucked, pretending the stairs don't weigh more than your laptop. Someone compliments your confidence like it's a costume change. You nod, because explaining authenticity before 9 a.m. feels like unpaid labor. Meetings become micro auditions for manhood. You study how other guys interrupt and wonder if that's part of the job description. Bathrooms? Forget it. You just want to pee. But apparently that's political. Women's room? Predator. Men's room? Lost. You end up performing stealth missions for bladder relief. Eyes down, no sudden moves. Doctors aren't much better. You walk in for allergies and leave with dysphoria. So, you were born female? No, I was born alive. Can we start there? Therapists range from angels to algorithms. Do you think your gender's from trauma? No, but this conversation might be. Please just help me make sense of breathing. Dating? A circus. If you pass, you're a secret. If you don't, you're a fetish. You're either invisible or someone's social experiment. I've never been with a trans guy before, she says, like she's ordering off a limited edition menu. You want softness, mornings, laughter, shared playlists. But the world offers curiosity disguised as affection. You're a checkbox. Would date again if novelty persists. And if you're gay or bi, the confusion doubles. Wait, if you're a guy and like guys. Yes, Susan. Welcome to sexuality, where math isn't the point. Even with someone kind, you still calculate when to tell, how to tell, whether it's safe to tell. Because men get killed for less. Because someone once said be careful, and you learned they meant it. Names become battlegrounds. Paperwork, lines, stairs. Every DMV visit feels like you're auditioning for permission to exist. The clerk smiles too long. You leave shaking. You think passing will fix it? Joke's on you. Now you're in the boys' club. Sort of. They tell sexist jokes and expect you to laugh. You're not one of the girls anymore, but not the kind of man they trust either. Masculinity turns into a trap with better marketing. You watch cis men swagger through life and wonder if confidence is testosterone soluble. Then you see how some treat women and think, maybe I'll pass on the deluxe subscription. But say that out loud and suddenly you're angry. Politics? Don't even start. Every week, someone's debating your body like it's a budget cut. Lawmakers treat your existence like a thought experiment. Should we let them transition? Should we let you mind your business? Apparently not. The headlines drain you. Another bill. Another bathroom debate. Another stranger deciding if you count as real. You're either invisible or a virus, depending on the network. Even allies can wear you down. You're so brave. No, I'm exhausted. You're such an inspiration. I'm just trying to buy deodorant without a panic attack, Karen. Family, that's its own war zone. Some pretend nothing's changed, supportive until they call you your old name over mashed potatoes. Others act like you died mid-dinner. We miss the old you. Yeah, me too. The one who didn't flinch every time someone said she. Then there's the loving kind. We'll always love you no matter what, they say, right before introducing you by your dead name to the neighbors. Thanks, Aunt Linda. Revolutionary. Your childhood gets rewritten for everyone else's comfort. You always liked boy stuff. Oh, so it was prophecy. Great, I'll tell fate you called. They turn your confusion into narrative convenience. The media doesn't help. If trans men exist at all, it's as corpses or metaphors. You're either tragic or token. Most people hear trans and only picture women. You're invisible until someone needs to score diversity points. Then boom, mascot mode. It's wild, being erased while under a microscope. Too unseen to matter, too visible to hide. You're a ghost everyone insists on staring at. But even in the chaos, light breaks through. The first sir that lands without hesitation. The first time you catch your reflection and don't flinch. The first time your voice sounds like home. Joy feels like rebellion. You post a photo, shirtless, alive, and suddenly you're forcing your identity. Meanwhile, cis influencers post thirst traps and get sponsorships. Every ounce of happiness is resistance. Every step outside is defiance. You celebrate tiny victories, a haircut that finally feels like truth, a friend who nails your pronouns, a morning where your chest is quiet and your brain isn't screaming. And somewhere between survival and joy, you start imagining future. Not utopia, just ordinary peace. Coffee that's just coffee, not a political statement. A world where your voice doesn't surprise you or anyone else. You realize that maybe the point isn't perfection, it's persistence. You rebuild yourself from rubble. Every breath, earned. Every inch of comfort, carved. You didn't just transition. You resurrected yourself in a world that wanted you extinct. That's why being a trans man in America sucks. Not because you regret it, but because the world does. Because your joy breaks their narrative about gender, power, and permission. But here's the secret they'll never understand. You keep living. You keep showing up. You keep becoming. You walk through a world that calls you controversial and somehow turn it into home. You grow facial hair and hope at the same time. Because the truth they can't handle, the one that scares them most, is simple. You weren't supposed to survive, and you did anyway.